What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's IPUKZRL here. It's tough to even say my name, I know. Even myself. But, so, what I want to come at you all with today is the full meta update for Season 3. Everything that came with it. Some of the new cards. And really new abilities. The new abilities really made it this season. A lot of teams came together. And so we saw a diversification in the meta, especially since Season 2. So, if you want to see my full Season 2, would go back to my other video on the Season 2 one, but for this one, this will be specifically Season 3, so don't think that this can just retrofit back to Season 2, especially the way that some of these teams are built. So, let's dive right in. So, what have I been using? I've been using pretty much two of the Giga Meta Chad teams, you know, like the super Chad teams. I've got two of them, and one of them I am missing one ability on to make it super meta. So I'll kind of dive into that one first, and that's the Khan team. So Khan, Subutai, Mugli, running as Noble Knights. I've heard the term called Bloody Knights. So, it's kind of funny how this team really came together, because at the start of the season, nobody knew how good Amplified Impact was. Then everyone figured it out, and everyone started running it. Now, what did you pair with it? It's Revolt. I unfortunately don't have Revolt, so I haven't seen this team using it at its fullest potential, because a lot of the abilities you get down to it, it's like, if you're one ability off, man, it's the difference between you winning and losing versus another team. So, let's dive into Khan first. Khan with Surprise Strike and Stealth Charge. Main reason for Surprise Strike is you lower the defense by 120 and then you silence them. The main thing is, you have combo already, so you don't need the triple strike anymore. 120 defense. Look at Khan himself at 170. 120, 50 left if he hits. Stealth Charge. This one's an obvious one. I won't go into it. A lot of damage on the Chief. Now, I don't have mine traded right. I went for more of the Valiant one. And in reality, it needs to be swapped over. Unfortunately, whenever you go rogue, you have no silver. So I can't change things around as a rogue. Separate video. Y'all have seen me talk about it a few in the other videos, but I don't have a lot of room to play around. So if I had the perfect setup, I would literally just go Red Tree and Head Start. Subutai. Amplified Impact, I do have it. I don't have Revolt. My next best thing is Cavalry Charge. And going by just this, I'm one ability off. I cannot be a Bloody Knights, Noble Knights team like this without Revolt. It is make it or break it. If you do not have Revolt, this team is almost... I don't want to say it's not worth running, but just know you're not going to beat a Noble Knights team with Cavalry Charge. It doesn't even matter what you put right here. It's not as good as Revolt. Hate to say it, because Amplified Impact, 40%. Revolt, fully maxed. If we go over to the skill real quick, it's 40%. They cancel each other out. Then each basic attack deals. That's a 100% chance. No activation rate change on this. So it's just bonus damage. You're hitting combo every single turn. So the 40 cancels out the 40. You're left with comboing every turn. You're doing additional damage. And Subutai's main does the group damage. Then you go into Mugli. Noble Knights. Plus his main ability. It's already pretty good. Y'all know that. Oh, and let me run into his spec real quick. And in reality, I don't like the way this is because of how overpowered Head Start is. But everyone's going Head Start just to kill everyone on turn 1. So whoever's got the fastest Subutai at level 50 wins. That's it. They win. These don't matter in the full meta. Now, you get the extra 2% down here per one, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you have Head Start on your Subutai and your Kangas, you're good. Foresight, Inspiration is just there. In case I hit Cavalry Charge turn 1, then I just get 20%. I'm not even getting what Revolt gets. I'm now at 20%. It's just, Revolt's too strong. Revolt is, it is too strong of an ability compared to everything else. And that's a 45% chance. It's not even 50. So if my turn 1 doesn't go off and I don't hit this, I don't win at all. Like, there's a 0% chance. But Revolt hits all the time. So that's that. Mugli. Noble Knights, just brutally overpowered. There's no reason to run Mongolian Cavalry Archers because the only person who would even be affecting is Khan himself. And you have to use another support skill here because Mugli is just a stat stick for them. He is there to bring up the stats. He's just a straight support. Don't use him for like honor roll, double flank, or anything like that. It's not worth it. That's not what he's made for. He's made to just straight on support everyone else. So solid defense right here is a good one. I've been testing it out. I saw it used on a few other teams. Okay, reports. I don't think it's really making a whole lot of difference versus All to Arms. All to Arms is what I have been using the super buff, Subutai, and Kangas. Traits, I'm using Lure and Enemy, Intervene, Motivation, just more damage, you know, for everyone else. So, that's that. Noble Knights, you already know what that does. A lot of damage reduction and boosts the stats. So that with All to Arms is 54 attack, straight up. And you can get your attack turn 1 past like 500. It's nuts what you can do on the Kangas team. So the second one, I hit 50. Yes, sir, we hit it. And this was a hard 50. I didn't just sit there and bang my teams against someone else. No, I had to farm only the toughest players in the game. I should say the word farm. It was hard PvP this entire time. That was a hard 50 right there. I just want to point that out. I'm very proud of this 50. Because I had to chase down teams with this thing. I mean, I was running after my XP. I mean, I couldn't just send my teams to a fort, throw them at the enemy guild, and then recall and just do it again. No, I had to chase people down for this 50. I'm very proud of this. Running into Zhang, way he's built. Persian Immortals Invulnerable. I had the best. It's invulnerable. Pure Mind, Healing Hands. I think Healing Hands would be the next best thing, then Pure Mind. But Invulnerable, though, with Bucky and the amount of damage he takes, Invulnerable really hits it strong right there. You're able to provide him a little bit of sustain with how squishy he is. Persian Immortals, he has to be the one that uses it. Traits. Evade. He needs as much survivability as possible. Parry, 8%, and Agile Defense. These both came in Season 3. I don't remember them being Season 2. 8% here, 8% there. Really helps him sustain versus the Bloody Knights. And in reality, you lose to Bloody Knights most of the time with spears. This is meant to beat the Caesar team that uses elephants that then counters the Bloody Knights. Don't get me started about the way this meta's turned out. Sun Wu, I tried for probably half of the, I'd say probably about 90% of the season. I just started using Trick and Confuse. I will say I'm getting better results with Trick and Confuse than I was with Exploitative Overindulgence, because Amplified Impact is just going through everything. It's going through everything. It doesn't matter. So, and it's got a lower activation rate. So traits, Foresighted, Focus, Head Start. You gotta throw a Head Start on everyone. Doesn't matter who it is. You're throwing a Head Start on them. Just keep that in the back of your mind. This right here, I did the math. I hit this on Oda. I don't have the report saved, unfortunately, but I stole a total with Sun Wu at 50, 272 stats total. Everything: the attack, defense, speed, intelligence, everything altogether. 272, just nuts amount of stats stolen. I mean, and then he gets it right. So, and if this hits first, then Fearful hits, right? The goal is for Fearful to hit. Now, I am actually big braining. I made mine super fast, okay? You have to do this. You have to put points into speed on Sun Wu and make your equipment. I'm not going to mention equipment too much. It's not like it's complete make it or break it. Just make sure your Sun Wu is faster than your Baki. You want Master Tactician to go off before Baki turns. A couple points in intelligence are not going to make a huge deal whenever it comes down to him going first turn 1 against everyone else. So, you take Baki right here, 135. I'm faster than my Baki. Even if the enemy's faster, let's just say that, I'm still going off before my Baki. Master Tactician will hit, and he'll get the bonus on Formation Breaker, Swift Sword, and Squad Crusher. So, Best thing I can advise for that, make sure your son moves faster, especially whenever he can hit Trick and Confuse, steal the stats, he steals the stats, then Bucky can turn Switch Sword, Squad Quasher, Formation Breaker. You can have a turn 1 absolute animal. So, that's the reason why you want to run this setup and make your son move faster. So, basic setup here, Swift Sword, Squad Quasher. The only change you could make, I've thought about it, is lose, but he would just take so much damage, but I've seen it work. Traits, Foresight, Focus, Head Start, pretty much the same thing as some Wu. Won't go too much into it. Quick note that these 3 teams that I have right here, and y'all see them, I've got the Egyptian God cards right here, supposedly. Attila has let me down. He has he couldn't even win. I'm just using him as a pather now. It's so embarrassing. I'm so sad about this team. I really am. I wanted this. I was running a Noble Knights. The only way I could have. Don't worry about this skill. It's just there. But I had Triple Strike and I had Cavalry Charge because I was trying to run Triple Strike on Subutai, or not Triple Strike. I was trying to run something else. Undefeated. I was running Undefeated and Amplified Impact, and that really wasn't working too well, so I went to Cavalry Charge. I took it off of Attila. I was trying to spread my skills around a little bit, make it all work. Yeah, I couldn't beat anyone. All this experience up here, this is all losing experience. Was very disappointing in this team. Either one, Subutai and Attila, don't really work without Revolt. I hate to tell you that. Both of them don't really work unless you have Revolt. Rama's Might Cavalry Charge was a good setup to trigger Foresight so much. So, or Calm Resolve. You could have gone Calm Resolve. But I could not get this, just couldn't do it. And I had him set up with Lose, Chief's Call. Sure, I could have done Keen Pursuit. I've seen that work a lot. But I don't really think this would have brought this team together against a meta team. And what I mean by meta team is Caesar, Zhang, Bloody Knights, Khan, and the Archer team. Or no, not Archer, Yamato Samurai. Still wouldn't beat it. Doesn't even matter. Even if you're countering them, you would still lose. Noble Knights was right here in Healing Hands. That just got waxed. Didn't even try. This team, unfortunately, as much as I literally love this team to death, it's probably still my favorite team. It does not work without Persian Immortals. And what I mean by working is, this team might work against the people that don't have the meta teams, sure. This does not run up against the meta teams. And that's what I try my best to report to y'all on that works. Because those are the best teams. That's what works. That's what you're going to be using if you want to win the PvP. So, this team does not match up well at all without Persian Immortals. Does it work with Persian Immortals? Yes, it does work. Works very well. But even with Longbowmen, Longbowman is a good starting class. That's the reason why I use it at the start. It's a good starting class. It does not transform well into the end game. This team, unfortunately, I can't even test it. I can't train. Yeah, I can't train. I don't have any skill experience to mess around with. So, there's that. Now, we got the spreadsheet to walk through real quick. I broke it down about as best as I could. Let's go into a lot of the teams that we've been seeing. I've just brought it down straight skills, a couple skills here and there, and then most of, if not all, the meta teams that we have seen this far. So, top spearman teams, I will not go over Zhang, just did him. Sun Wu, Sun Bin, Wu Kui, and Li Mu. Very good team. Even with the A rating on them, such a strong team. Such a strong team. Caught me really out of left field. You can also run them as archers, and you will see whenever I scroll down, that really is the only archer team, because you're not running Khan this season, in Season 3, as archers. And I would even throw Jeb in there, too. I don't think he's matching up well. Now, next season, I will be testing that, and I will see how it matches up. I do know of only one person, and that is running the Jeb. Shout out to Dawn. I know she's running it, but I don't think I don't think that she's had as great of success as what the Bloody Knights have seen. So, and a lot of these too, I'm only doing these based off of what I've seen consistently. I mean, I run into these guys no matter what every daggum time. Especially facing the best of the best players in this game. That's what you're going to see. So, Sun Wu, Sun Bin, Wu Kui, and Limu. I've seen the Wu Kui and the Limu mixed around. Also with Sun Bin. A little bit interchangeable. So long as you have Sun Wu in there, it works. But you can swap around. I do think Wu Kui has really shined this season. He's really come out. It took pretty much everyone going into Season 3 to realize how good he was. I knew he was good. It just was going to take the right team, and it's Sun Wu. Because Trick and Confuse and Fearful Enemy have so much a high activation rate. He's another high activation rate person that I've said in the past. Now, if you go with Wu Kui, you have to use Exploit Overindulgence, Encourage Indulgence on your Sun Wu on the back line. That's how you're going to keep them alive. Sun Bin and Limu are going to be a Persian Immortals. Invulnerable, Healing Hands, Pure Mind, just straight heals. Keep them healing. I wouldn't put Sun Bin and Limu together. You need a little bit of damage in there, and Sun Wu isn't going to be the straight damage dealer that you need. That's what I've seen so far. Top Cavalry teams. So, we've already gone over the only changes that you can make really is Akazoni Assault, Solid Defense, and All to Arms. Other than that, though, that's a straight meta team. And these are all S right here. So, whoops. But, so, Caesar, Charlemagne, Charles. If you don't have both, you can run Noble Knights or Elephant Warriors. I would say Elephant Warriors is going to be the best. Because you counter the con team, the Bloody Knights. You counter those. Elephant Warriors is how you... In reality, it's a square right now. If you want to put it, it's a straight square right now of the meta teams. There's 4. The 4 are Zhang. Zhang is one. Khan's the other. Caesar, Charlemagne Charles, or Caesar Richard Scipio. They both fall into that same category. Both will beat the Khan Bloody Knight team with Elephant Warriors attached. 4th one came out this season. Not that many people have it, but it is ridiculously good. Is Oda, Tokugawa, Takeda. So those are the 4 right there. They all work to counter each other in one way or another. That's my opinion. Might hear something different. The team that's right up there next to it is the Archer. The Archer, Limu, Wu Kui. That's right up there. I don't think it's right at the 5th slot of super meta, but it's right there at it. But I would probably stick there and say that those are the 4 best teams right now that you can pretty much get your hands on. So going back over to here, and y'all can of course read this as it is. I'm only going to really call out that there are several different just support skills that you're going to throw on Charles and Caesar. That's it. Just several support skills. Healing Hands, Heaven's Blessing, Chief's Call, Perceive and Persist. I've seen ran all over the place. And Charles is pretty much just Heaven's Blessing, Pure Mind, Chief's Call. That's pretty much it. Not really too much else to say there. Charlemagne, nothing's changed. Fatal Finale, Fearful Enemy, Fast Gallop. Nobody's really using War Veteran. Mainly because most of the people just have Fast Gallop, Fearful Enemy, Fatal Finale. Caesar, Richard, Scipio. If you never got the chance to draw Charlemagne Charles setup, then what you have is the Caesar, Richard, Scipio, and the chance of you having both Scipio and Richard at this point is pretty strong. You're going to be running them with Elephant Warriors, PMP, Healing Hands, Pure Mind, Chief's Call if you're running Caesar as Lieutenant. And then Richard, Returning to Triumph, Lose, Bloody Battle. Pretty much the 3 best. Well-deserved credit, Bloody Battle, Squad Quasher, and Swift Sword. Pretty much your basic setup on Scipio right now. I like running Scipio personally with double well-deserved credit. I think that is without a doubt his best thing. I like Caesar as Chief because you can use well-deserved credit. And that will give Richard continuous more damage. Returning in Triumph does the same thing. Then Bloody Battle on either or Swift Sword, Squad Quasher on Scipio. I wouldn't put an active on Richard. I would leave that alone besides lose. And that's really all there's to say there. These teams work in tandem of beating each other. Very good. I mean, these are the best of the best teams. Especially, and what these kind of are is everyone in Season 3 pretty much already knows these teams. You know, we all know these teams. We've seen what they're capable of. And I might be missing one. If I am missing one, please let me know down in the comments what you guys have been seeing has been working well. And if I'm wrong about any of the teams, let me know. I mean, this is there for y'all. Top infantry team, there's only one. And it's the Oda team. This game, I was so happy that Oda honestly got what he needed this season. And I had always told the brothers it was Kenshin. Kenshin was the problem. Kenshin cannot do. And I told him it wasn't Takeda, it wasn't Oda, it was Kenshin. There was not a support or damage dealer out there that could help Oda put out the damage. Long comes along Takeda or Tokugawa. Yamato Samurai, of course. I've seen PMP and Chief's Call used a lot. I've seen people run Amplified Impact on Tokugawa. I think if you use Amplified Impact on either Takeda or Tokugawa, I would throw on Burning Sun or Splice. And then use the other one as straight support. I've seen both of them basically just used as supports, and Amplified Impact just run on the other. That way you give Oda more chances to proc Gate Conquest. Gate Conquest is an absolute joke of a skill. It's about as bad as Revolt and Amplified Impact combined. Just ridiculous. I mean, it's so broken. Yeah, especially whenever you pair with Burning Sun. I mean, it's just bonkers. I mean, you'll see 12, 16, 20k damage on just Gate Conquest, and then Double Flank is just a, it's just insult to injury. It's just, I love this team. I just think it just needs to be turned a little bit, because not that many people have the full setup team and run this team, because it takes 2 Kokugawas, it takes Yamato Samurai. I do think you need Yamato Samurai right here. It's an expensive team, and it takes a Season 3 card twice. It takes 2 Charlemagnes, it takes 2 Charles. That's what it takes for Tokugawa to really come in. I love this team, and I was running in season 1 with Kenshin. I was just like, man, what a joke of a team. And then lo and behold, Tokugawa comes out. I'm just like, man, finally a good team. And it was Gate Conquest that really came out that did it. Top archer team, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Just and like I said with Wu Kui and Sun Wu, you should use Explosive Overindulgence and Courage. And only time I'll use Longbowman, and I've seen it ran without Longbowman. It's perfectly fine. It's beaten my teams before. So I think that's the best of the best right there for archers. I won't really read it out too much, but if you're probably asking me PvP, what do you think about the Jeb? What do you think about the Darius? They don't really compete, in my fair opinion, with what we have right here. With what we've seen, what we've compete, I don't think it's the S. I mean, this is the God tier list right here. This is are there some sub meta teams that you're missing 1 or 2 cards? Yes, and there are teams out there that have yet to be combined together. So it might take not everyone being the same faction. So there's gonna team probably next season we'll see a new team come out, whether or not we go into season X or not. Season X, season 4, whatever we want to call it. We will see. We'll see that. So guys, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think maybe could have been changed, what could have been done differently. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.